Guys, MPTV, Piper the Soccer Mentor. Hope you're all well and thank you for joining me. Now, today, something a little different. I had this question come through from TJ in the comment section of YouTube, and as you can see, TJ is asking how Toni Kroos dictates a game. Alright, can I talk about that a little bit? So what I wanted to do today, I wanted to get in front of the camera and I wanted to talk to you guys like I'm sitting with you or you're like my team, and trying to explain how I believe players like Toni Kroos, that deep lying central midfielder, the ball player, goes about dictating play on a football pitch. Now, with the deep lying central midfielder and the guy that's got to try and dictate play, slow the play when it needs slowing, speed the play up, that's what we talk about when we talk about dictate play. So the first area I want to look at is the brain of the team. That is what he is. Alright, Toni Kroos, Paul Scholes, Xavi at Barcelona, Pirlo at Juventus, they are the brain of the team. Nothing else works without them guys, because predominantly most of the play through these teams that these guys are in goes through them. So Toni Kroos, everything goes through him. If he's not playing in Ronaldo out on the wing, Ronaldo's not doing his tricks and scoring goals because he's not getting the ball. Benzema, he's not getting the ball over the top or into feet because Toni Kroos is not giving it to him. Alright, so nothing works without the brain. That's what you've got to think of first and foremost. Everything goes through this player. Is game intelligence. Game intelligence of this player has to be off the scale. Alright, that's why I couldn't play this game. Game intelligence has to be huge. When I talk about game intelligence, I'm talking about in split second time, this guy needs to see positioning and see movement on a football pitch, and his brain will be working at the high level of a coach, of a high level coach. But he has to do it. He can't sit there and think about it all night like coaches do. When this player moves here, I want this player to drop in here. When that player moves there, I want this player to drop in there. This guy has got to have game intelligence of elite level coaching, but it's got to be done in split seconds. So when he sees movement from a certain player, he knows it'll open up that certain space so he can play the ball in there. He knows to move into this position to get the ball because that guy's going to vacate that position and that guy's going to come in that position and probably look to play the ball to this position, so I'll get myself in this position. Alright? Game intelligence is all about understanding the tactics, movement and positioning on the football pitch, but in real game time. So you've not got all night to think about it. It has to happen immediately. And that's why these guys, for me, are probably the best players in the world. You've got your Ronaldos and you've got your Messis that are unbelievable skill, can dribble past players. Messi's got huge game intelligence. But these guys that dictate play have huge game intelligence. Spatial awareness has to be at more or less ingenious levels. Spatial awareness. So as I've said earlier in this video, the play will always go through this guy. He dictates the play. And to dictate the play, you've got to be on the ball a lot. This guy, out of the 22 players on the pitch, Toni Kroos will probably be touching the ball more than anyone else because the play has to go through him. And to make the play go through you, you need the ball all the time. And to get the ball all the time in top flight games, your spatial awareness has to be unbelievable. So when we talk about spatial awareness in football, we're talking about an understanding of the space around you. What position can you get yourself in to receive the ball that is not a pressurized space? And this is so difficult and more or less impossible to coach. I believe that you're born with this kind of spatial awareness. So knowing the space around you and knowing the people and the players and the opposition that are in it. Not just your own players, but the players of the opposition as well. Because you've got to be able to move in a certain way and get yourself in a position to be able to receive the ball but also where it's not a pressurised situation. So then you can use your technical ability to make the pass or play forward or turn or whatever. So spatial awareness is huge. That's why I've got it at number 3. Number 4. These three are no good without this. You need a great first touch. Alright, and this is something you can work on. Toni Kroos would have practiced for hours and hours and hours, and one of the best guys that's ever played this kind of position, deep lying central midfielder, is Paul Scholes. Alright, no one looked at him when he was playing and thought he is one of the best players in the world, but people like Xavi, Zidane said that Paul Scholes is one of the best they've ever played against. And that's because he had these 3 in abundance, but he also had this to go with it. Because there's no good being the brains of the team. Your game intelligence is huge, so you know where to position yourself and where to get. Your spatial awareness is key, so you get in the spaces to be able to receive the ball. Then you receive the ball, but your first touch is not great. It needs to be great. It needs to be instant, bam, so you can play first time. Second time, you can turn, you can play forward. Alright, so in this position you need a great first touch. See it 3-4 passes ahead. Now what I mean by this is, this area comes under this and this. Game intelligence. See it 3 or 4 passes ahead. So we've spoken about game intelligence is about movement, positioning, the tactical side of football, but these decisions have to happen in an instant. So once you've got your great first touch, then you're looking up and you're seeing things 3 or 4 passes before it happens. So basically, if I play it into Ronaldo there, but he's marked by 2 players, he's going to have to come back here and give it to Marcelo. So I'll get myself in this position ready, so when Ronaldo does play it back, I can call it straight from Marcelo, give it me, and then we're playing again. Alright, so 1, 2, 3 passes before it's happening. It's knowing the game inside out, so I can give it to Dani Carvajal at the right wing back, and I know that he's got space in front of him, so he's going to move into it, so I'll start moving up the pitch. Then I know that he's probably going to try and play it into Bale out on the wing, but Bale's got 2 men on him, so now I'll come into this deeper position because I know Bale's going to have to come back out to Carvajal, and then he's going to give it to me. Alright? This kind of thought process though is happening 2, 3, 4 passes ahead. So these players are looking at a situation, at the picture in front of them, and thinking, right, this is what I believe will happen with the picture I'm seeing. So I'll get myself in this position early because I know it will eventually come back to here. Lending the ball to teammates is key to this position. Key. Alright? And this is how the brains of the operation can dictate the tempo of a football match, and it is by lending the ball. This is to slow. This is what I've used as an example to slow the game. If the game's chaotic all around him and the team are pressing all over the place, the opposition you're playing against, and Toni Kroos looks at the situation and thinks, right, I want to slow this game down. I need to slow it down. He will have to do this, and this is what Xavi at Barcelona was unbelievable at, lending the ball to teammates. So you're giving it to players knowing they're going to have to give it you back. Alright, I give it to Marcelo, but I put myself in a position and I call for the ball straight back. I'm slowing the tempo of the game because we're keeping the ball. We're keeping the ball in non-threatening areas, and that's called lending the ball. I'll give it to Carvajal out on the right, but I know he's marked up, so he's going to have to come back to Ramos. Ramos will have to give it back to me. I'll give it to Marcelo, but I'll put myself in a position to take it back. Then I'll give it to Pepe. Then I'll call for it back off Pepe. Then I've got space around me because the team's pressed out. They're tired, so they drop back in, the opposition. So then I'll hold the ball for a minute. I'll walk with it. You watch Toni Kroos, he walks with the ball a lot. I'll roll it under my foot. I'll be looking for long passes. I'll be looking for short passes. I'll give it back to Marcelo. I'll call for it back off him. That is lending the ball, and that is controlling the pace of a football match. Very difficult to do. Easy for me to say, very difficult to do. Short pass, long pass, and weight of pass. Each of those areas you have got to be a master at. So practice, practice, practice. This is a place you can get better at. Alright? Long passing. Long passing, practice your long passing, your short passing, and most important of all, the weight of pass. There's no good hitting a 50-yard ball to Ronaldo if you've absolutely pinged it at him and he's got 2 men around him. Because it's going to come off him, alright? It's the weight of pass that you play it in at. It's the weight of pass you give it when you're lending the ball. Or it's the weight of pass you push it into Marcelo to allow him to think, oh, he's played that pass in so I can get it out my feet and run it on. That's how Toni Kroos dictates play. If he just rolls it into Marcelo and then calls for it back, Marcelo knows, oh, he wants it back. I give it him back. If I wrap it into Marcelo, push forward. Alright, it's all about the weight of pass. It's key in this position. No Hollywood balls. Pass with purpose. Now, in football, this is a term that I use and a lot of other footballers use. A Hollywood ball is, for instance, Ronaldo's out on the left wing. He's got 2 players covering him. Benzema, Bale, and all his support for the team is over this side of the pitch. They're on the right. Toni Kroos gets the ball, he looks up. This is where this comes into it. Game intelligence. Alright? If I hit that ball to Ronaldo and he's marked by 2, Marcelo's not helping him because Marcelo's back at left back and Bale and Benzema are over the other side of the pitch. He hasn't got no support network around him. That would be classed as a Hollywood pass because all I'm hitting that pass for is to get a clap from the Bernabeu. Oh, what a ball, what a ball. Because that pass is not helping my team because you've left the player isolated out on the wing. So that would come under a Hollywood ball. You're doing that pass for the sake of it, alright? So then this is where this comes in, game intelligence, alright? These two are related. Game intelligence, Toni Kroos gets the ball, he looks up, Ronaldo's marked out. I'm not giving it him. I'm coming out this way. I see Bale, he's out on there and he's got support from Benzema and Dani Carvajal. Let me play that pass. There's a long pass, but it's not a Hollywood ball, alright? Because he's got a support around him. So Toni Kroos is using game intelligence in that way. Pass with purpose. That's what that's all about. Pass with purpose. Is the Ronaldo pass a pass with purpose? No, because he's probably going to lose the ball. So we're going to lose possession and we're going to have to drop back in. Alright, so a pass with purpose is the Bale pass because he's got support around him. He's one-on-one with his fullback. That is a pass with purpose. The Ronaldo pass would be a Hollywood pass. Guys, listen, something a little different today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've understood everything I've spoke about. As I say, I'm not the type of player to dictate and control a football match because my levels of this and this were not on the level of what is needed to be the kind of Scholes, the Pirlo, the Xavi, the Toni Kroos of a football team. I was much more simple player. Get the ball down, try and take my winger on. But I hope you've got something from this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below. Because when you understand more of this, you will really have an appreciation for the player that you're watching on TV. And I would advise you all to go back, get on YouTube, look at Paul Scholes, look at Xavi, look at Pirlo, look at Toni Kroos, and watch how they control and dictate football matches. They are the brains of the team. And it's so difficult to do. But I wish you all the best. Put some of these things I spoke about into practice and hopefully one day you'll be dictating and controlling football matches. Guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you again soon. Have a great weekend.